traded or bought out.
Matt Pinto joins us now in the studio. Matt, once again, a non-quiet summer for the Thunder. I can't remember the last time we had a quiet summer for Oklahoma City.
Well, that's the norm. Sam Presti is always up to things to improve this roster. That will never change, and I think that's a great thing from a Thunder fan perspective, is that every rock is unturned. Every possible opportunity that's there, they certainly navigate.
Now, you have some insight on Paul George's surprise party from last Thursday in Los Angeles. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, let's talk about the draft Thursday night. Had 2 late-round picks in the second round, and I thought they did extremely well. Let's start first with pick number 53.
Well, Devin Hall from Virginia with a winning program, a guy that was an All-ACC defensive player, so he's got some defensive chops. He's good on and off the ball, improved his scoring and shooting in all 4 seasons collegiately. Has an NBA body already, very fundamentally sound.
Pick number 57 out of Texas Arlington, Kevin Hervey. I've seen 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", even 6'10", somewhere in the middle there, but could be a good pick for the Thunder. Some knee surgeries for him kind of dropped him in the draft.
Well, his wingspan is 7'3½", so I think that we talk about length, and he has it plus, and that's always an attribute the Thunder seek. He is naturally gifted offensively, can knock down 3-point shots, so the stretch element now that's so important at the power forward and small forward positions in the NBA, he seems to come equipped with.
They also picked up Hamidou Diallo in a trade. We can't talk about that yet because it's not official. That'll happen on July 6th, but we can talk about Carmelo Anthony. Big news yesterday, opting in. No surprise there. Will we be surprised if he's still with the Thunder in September, or what do you expect?
Well, I think that's a tough question to answer right now. A lot of it comes down to where is Melo's mindset coming off of his exit interview dialogue that indicated he's really uncomfortable in the role that he was best at with the personnel that surrounds him in Oklahoma City. So I think there's dialogue ongoing between the Thunder, his representative, to see what is the best outcome here for both parties. And I would say stay tuned on that front.
Do you think it could work if he does plan to stay here this season?
I think it's difficult to say right now. I think it really comes down to, again, what is his frame of mind. I think he's a capable offensive player in a role that is a stretch proposition at the wing or the corner spots, but he's a guy very accustomed to being in that mid-post and low-post area and playing ISO basketball, which I don't think is the most conducive thing to success for this team with him on the court.
If Melo and the money stays, that makes it real tough to re-sign Jeremy Grant, who is a player on the rise, in my opinion. I'm sure you agree as well. I'd love to see him back with the Thunder, but it all depends about Paul George and obviously Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, and I think that this team recognizes the resources it has financially. They know they've got to fill the roster out. They certainly think very highly of Jeremy Grant, his continued improvement, the things he did offensively a season ago off the dribble to really put defenses on red alert.
As far as Paul George goes, he had a party Thursday night, surprise party for him, and you have some insight on this party. In fact, some Thunder people flew to L.A. to help celebrate.
Well, his family threw it. His sister orchestrated the party, invited a number of Thunder staffers. Matt Tumbleson, the vice president of basketball communications and engagement, was there, as was Donnie Strack from the medical staff, and Billy Donovan, the head coach, were there. So I think when you put 2 and 2 together, he's days away from making his free agency decision, yet the Thunder were not only welcome to be there, but invited to be there. I would say that bodes pretty well for their free agent chances involving Paul George.
I saw some video on Instagram from that party, and there was a Thunder mural in the background with Paul George. Is that a good sign? We're looking for signs right now. Any tidbit of information?
Well, what I would say is that the national narrative wants to move him in certain directions,
oh, yeah.
But when you listen to him speak, it's always been incredibly glowing and positive. In fact, his exit interview, he said, this organization checks all the boxes, which indicate to me this is more than a one-year proposition.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Paul George staying or going?
Well,
what's your answer?
I think every indication is he's coming back. The framework of how he comes back remains to be seen, but I feel very optimistic, as do the Thunder right now, the way things are looking.
Hopefully it'll be happy July 4th,
yes.
Or maybe sooner we'll get some news on Paul George. Thanks a lot for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
All right.
Coming up, Lincoln Riley and his assistants get raised.